It's a kind of magic. It's a kind of magic.
Hello world, it is Monday, October 10th, 2011. Hope you guys are having a great start to your week so far. It is an absolutely gorgeous day in Storrs, Connecticut, which is surprising because it is October. Knock on wood. And so yeah, let's get started. Let's not beat around the bush today. So today I am going to do my review of Breaking Dawn, the book. So I've been reading the book on and off. I read the book kind of on and off for about a year. I read a little bit of it last year. I stopped halfway through, and I got back into it again a few weeks ago and finished reading it there. So Breaking Dawn is the fourth and final installment of the Twilight Saga book series by Stephanie Meyer, which, if you haven't been living under a rock the past 3, 4, 5 years, is one of the biggest literary phenomenons on the planet, only behind Harry Potter. So the Twilight Saga spans 4 highly successful books, which include Twilight, New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. I mean, if you include the short Second Life of Bree Tanner, I guess 5 books. And soon to be 5, without doubt, highly successful movies. As we know, Breaking Dawn all the Twilight movies released up until now have been highly successful in the box office, and no doubt the 2 Breaking Dawn movies will be just as successful. So the Twilight Saga tells the tale of Bella Swan and her vampire boyfriend and future husband Edward Cullen over the course of their relationship. They first meet and fall in love in Twilight, break up and get back together in New Moon, fight off a vampire threat and officially get engaged in Eclipse, and now in Breaking Dawn they're getting married. So under the pressure from the Volturi, which is sort of like the elite vampire nobility coven, to change Bella into a vampire face total destruction, Bella and Edward decide to get married, which was Edward's only stipulation for changing Bella into a vampire. After the marriage ceremony, Edward and Bella head off to Rio for their honeymoon. Afterwards, however, when Bella becomes inexplicably pregnant, plot holes FTW, the couple makes their way back home to ascertain what is happening and to save Bella's life before it's too late. The book covers the wedding, the honeymoon, the pregnancy, the birth, and Bella's new life as a vampire and her new family. So here's what's good about Breaking Dawn. The first half of the book is really fracking good and really interesting. The book, as the first half of the book goes on, it keeps adding a new layer to thicken the plot and the mystery, and really doesn't offer a single clue as what's going to be happening next. It really keeps you on the edge of your seat the entire time. I mean, it makes you almost forget that it's a Twilight book. I mean, the first half is so interesting and so complex, not complex, but it keeps adding a new layer as each chapter goes, adding a new complexity, a new situation, and it keeps adding that to add the sense of drama and uncertainty that the first half of the book has. Excuse me. And what's also really good about Breaking Dawn is Jacob's narration. Now, the book is sort of split into 3 parts. The first part, which covers the wedding and the honeymoon, is told from Bella's perspective. Then the second half, which covers Bella's pregnancy, is narrated by Jacob, and then the third half of the book is narrated by Bella again as her new life as a vampire. So when Jacob in the second part of the book takes over the narration for Bella, I was like, fuck yes. Jacob is an unreliable narrator, and I love unreliable narrators. When a novel is told from a first person's perspective, I love unreliable narrators. Like, absolutely love them. They bring, as a narrator, he brings so much interest to the story with his own perspective on things, his own attitude, his own sense of humor, his sarcasm, and he brings the text to life. He puts some life into the text, unlike when Bella's a narrator, because, Bella is, boring, dull, little to no personality Bella Swan. Jacob has so much personality and so much, he has so much going for him in his personality and his writing and the way, he brings so much life into the text. And, this is where Stephanie Meyer really shines as an author. This is where up until the host, which I'm going to review in a few weeks. I just finished reading it yesterday. This is where she really starts to shine as a really good author, who can use a really good, and she does a really good job with an unreliable narrator. I mean, because, up until I read the host, like I said, which I'm going to review in a few weeks, Jacob's part of the book, the part of the book that's narrated by Jacob, is literally the best thing she's ever written, like next to the host. And it's just kind of funny that is the case. So, now, here's what's not that good about Breaking Dawn. The first thing is the second half. While you heard me talking about how much I really love the first half of the book, I can't really say the same for the second half. Stephenie Meyer kind of resorts back to her, old self, not to mention Bella's return as a narrator after having Jacob being so lively and have so much life in his narration. To have Bella return and be her dull, typical Bella self, her being transformed into a vampire doesn't really change her dull Bella, just being Bella Swan, It's just a whole it's just a whole lot of nothing, and it's just not much really happens, and it really it doesn't really do the first half any justice, Of course, since Stephenie Meyer kind of goes back to her old tricks, she throws a plot twist out of left field, And see, I usually don't have a problem with plot twist, but I have a problem with plot twist suddenly going, oh shit, I have written 200-300 pages of absolutely nothing happening. And the thing is, she uses the same formula for in the previous Twilight books. She goes, it goes, okay, so tons of nothing, tons of nothing, tons of nothing, tons of nothing, tons of nothing. Bam, oh crap, I forgot to put something interesting I need to put something interesting at the end. I can't have an entire book of nothing. And she just kind of throws in a last-minute plot twist. And it's just kind of like, I don't mind if it happens in one book. Like in Twilight, okay, I can accept that. But it's her formula in every single one of the Twilight books. And it's gotten real stale at this point. So, another thing to talk about the ending, I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't read the book yet, or if you haven't, if you don't read the books or only watch the movies. There should have been, the way that she was setting up the ending, and the way that it was building up, and as of a plot twisty thing as it was, it really set it up for this grand, just to add one aspect, she kind of sets it up for this ending to be a huge battle between the Volturi and the Cullen clan and its supporters, However, and I'm going to spoil this for you if anyone who hasn't read the text, read the book, or just watches the movies. Just so you know, really quick, to, digress a little bit, what I'm going to do for spoilers is that when a spoiler starts, if you don't like spoilers, I know I don't like spoilers either. I'm not a spoiler person. I can't stand spoiling things, but to kind of prove a point in what I'm discussing, I may have to spoil a tiny bit of details here. So, if you have, a problem with spoilers, I'm going to say spoiler starting or something like that. And if you want to mute the conversation, mute the video, you can. If not, and what I'm going to do then at the end, when the spoiler's done, give a thumbs up. So if you want to unmute the video, go ahead. Just so you know, it's going to be like a 5-second spoiler, but essentially, and spoiler alert, it's a boatload of nothing. And it just kills any chance for a climactic battle of epic proportion. She misleads the readers, and in a very horrible way. So, overall, the bottom line of Breaking Dawn. Breaking Dawn has a lot of potential going into it. I mean, the first half of the novel was excellent and quite an enjoyable read. However, as I continued reading the book, as I got to the second half, Stephenie Meyer really, kind of resorted to her old tricks of writing. Of her, her sense of pacing and plot of, 500 pages of nothing and the last 100 pages of something happening. She shouldn't have, because she kind of took a gamble with the first half of the book, especially having a character that's not Bella narrate a good chunk of the story in Jacob, and it paid off tremendously, because that's like what I said before, she really shone as a writer. I'm not going to say the book let me down big time, because of all the Twilight books, this is definitely my favorite. This is definitely, I think, the best of the Twilight books. Even though a lot of people say Breaking Dawn isn't their favorite, and that Breaking Dawn is considered the worst book of the series, I happen to think the contrary. I happen to think it's the best in the series. But that's pretty much it. That's pretty much my views on Breaking Dawn. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm going to try to do a list this week. Then again, I don't know what my lists are going to be, as usual, until the last minute. So once I do figure out what my list is going to be this week, I will write it down and I will make a video of it. So, alright guys, I will talk to you later and hope you have a great week. Alright, peace.